your hat for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Ms. Dora,
present.
Ms. Loper,
Present.
Mr. Baxter,
Present.
Mr. Green,
Present.
myself present, Mr. Mays,
Present.
Ms. Jonah,
Present.
all present.
Need a motion to approve the agenda for the board meeting January the 13th.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion in regards to the agenda? Roll call, please.
Ms. Dora,
Yes.
Ms. Loper,
Yes.
Mr. Baxter,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mr. Mays,
Yes.
Ms. Jonah.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Need a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting on December the 9th.
Motion to approve. Support.
Any discussion in regards to the minutes? Roll call.
Ms. Loper,
Yes.
Mr. Baxter,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mr. Mays,
Yes.
Ms. Jonah,
Yes.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Need a motion to approve the minutes of the special board meeting December the 23rd, 2024.
So move.
Support.
Loper.
Yes.
Loper.
Yeah.
Any discussion in regards to the minutes of the special board meeting? Roll call.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mays,
Yes.
Jonah,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Need a motion to approve payment of the bills from December the 5th of 24 to January the 8th of 2025 of $2,624,358.94.
So move.
Support.
Have a motion to approve and support. Is there any further discussion on paying the bills? Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mays,
Yes.
Jonah,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next on the agenda, we have public comments in regards to agenda item only. Is anyone wishing to address the board in regards to public comments? Yes, ma'am.
May I stand back here because I got a big mouth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So move.
Support.
Any discussion in regards to the motion?
I just wanted for clarification. So we're removing that appointment of,
For the simple fact that Huntington Bank, PNC Bank, Chase Bank, pretty much no bank within our township is willing to be a receiving designee for our cash. There are other options. There's a kiosk option I'm looking at, a possibility. But as far as being a tax receiving designee and taking our money, it's not anything that they offer. So
So you're asking this
So
to
move point.
totally be removed?
rescind it. Yep.
Do I have support?
Support.
Any discussion on the motion?
Who made the motion? It was Jonah?
I did.
Okay. Make it clear.
Roll call, please.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mays,
Yes.
Jonah.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2025-1, appointment of representative and alternate to the Stormwater Board 342. I'm asking myself and Stephanie to be appointed to that. Because Mr. Deloney was on there and he is no longer a member of the township. I'll make the motion.
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mays,
Yes.
Jonah,
Yes.
Dora.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is resolution 2025-2, resolution providing guidelines for the 2025 tax.
I thought it read resolution poverty guidelines.
It is.
Okay.
I read it wrong. I apologize. Property guidelines, which was asked for us to comply with from the assessing department so that can be used. Is there any further discussion on the property resolution? Need a motion?
So move.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mays,
Yes.
Jonah,
Yeah.
King,
Yes.
Loper.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
I'm requesting that we reappoint Michelle Matheson to the planning commission for another 3-year term.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion?
Yeah, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
When you say to be on it for another 3, why is it saying to appoint? Why isn't that reappoint?
It's just a terminology. The aspect is, maybe it's my error, could be reappoint because she's completed her 3-year term and her term is up. So it could say reappoint or appoint.
And the reason I'm asking, because when I'm looking at it, I didn't know if these people are already on it, had experience or not, because it says appoint and not reappoint. So that's why I wanted clarification.
It's reappoint. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mays,
Yes.
Jonah,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
I'm requesting that we appoint Chad Ballard to the planning commission for a 3-year term.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion in regards to the motion?
Is he a reappoint or just a brand new?
Brand new.
That's where I'm saying, okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Myself, yes. Mays,
Yes.
Jonah.
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
I'm requesting that we appoint Dennis Miller to the planning commission for 3-year term.
Motion to approve. Support.
Any further discussion on the motion?
I just have a statement to make.
Yes.
So my 4 years, tenure of being on the planning commission, Dennis Miller is a great asset to the township. There's nobody that I know that I can think of that would know planning and zoning like Dennis Miller does. He is like the walking encyclopedia of it, and I think we're fortunate to have him.
So is he a reappoint?
He was on
He was on it
before,
before.
but
Okay,
he's coming back. But he's not currently on there.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mays,
Yes.
Jonah,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda, I'm requesting that we appoint Elmer Wilson to the zoning board of appeals. This is Elmer's first term on the ZBA.
So moved.
Support.
King and Mays.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Jonah, Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mays.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is resolution 2025-3, Community Development Block Grant Funds reallocation. Mr. Holmes, please.
Good evening, Supervisor Green, Township Board members and residents.
Is that on?
Good evening, Supervisor Green, Township residents and board. The resolution before us on this agenda item corresponds with information that we received from the Genesee County Planning Commission regarding our 25 through 27 Community Development Block Grant. The members of the body and the community will recall that we did have a public hearing on these allocations back in November. The Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development reallocated or re-looked at our eligibility and the areas thereof that corresponded with our allocation for this year. And they determined that we need to reallocate $16,100 that was previously directed toward the municipal complex and particularly the park. You'll see on the top where those allocations were approved previously by the Board of Commissioners, and the 2026 column is where the changes are being proposed for the reallocation. Would like to make a note that this resolution does have a typo in it where the public service project for King's Karate should actually be Youth Karateka, and we will make that correction upon your vote. Essentially, what the 16,000 in reallocation will do is 4,000 will be split between the youth programs at Beecher Community Development Center and the public service project at the Crapo Center. They'll receive an additional $2,000 apiece. And then we'll do a new project for blight elimination, specifically demolitions in the eligible area for $12,100. And that was what Supervisor Green is proposing for you to vote on tonight. And the comparison again is the top portion of the resolution is what's current. The bottom portion will be what will materialize upon your vote.
What's your pleasure?
So moved with the typo correction.
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mays.
Yes.
Jonah. Motion carries.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is request from the assessing department to extend the border review training program for the members. It's went on in Frankenmuth. The cost is $400. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mays.
Yes.
Jonah.
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda from the police department is requesting to hire Eddie Thompson as a new officer. Chief?
Good evening, Board. Coming before the board tonight to ask for the approval to hire Mr. Eddie Thompson. Eddie has previous experience with the city of Flint. They did sponsor him to the police academy. I did a short stint with Flint City and then went to Mott Community College as an officer. And then now he will hopefully be coming to us with the board's approval.
What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Any further discussion on the motion? I have one.
Yes, sir.
I don't want you to be offended. Because since he's such a short guy, are you gonna make him your personal bodyguard?
We can do that. We can do that.
Welcome.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mays.
Yes.
Jonah. Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Welcome.
aboard, young man.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the police is requesting to hire Cena Bradley.
Sean.
Sean.
Sean,
Sean.
just plain Sean.
Fair enough. I apologize. Just don't take it out on the short. As a new officer. Chief?
Yes, Board, I'm asking the approval to hire Mr. Sean Bradley. Sean's here with us tonight. He brings previous experience with Bloomfield Hills Police Department as well as Dearborn Heights. He is a Carmen Ainsworth grad, so he does know the area. So I'm just asking the board to approve his hiring.
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mays.
Yes.
John. Dora.
Yes.
Loper.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is welcome board. Before we go to the next item, if you would like to address the board, you're more than welcome to at this time. Speech.
Thanks for having me.
I apologize for messing up your name.
I'm used to it. I got it all in elementary school. It's truly an honor to work for the city. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the future.
Sure hope so. Next item on the agenda is police request to replace body cameras in the amount of $3,170.
Yes, board, I'm asking permission to purchase 5 new body cameras along with a new charging dock. Some of our current body cameras are malfunctioning and they're out of warranty. So we're stuck purchasing some new ones. We can purchase these through our drug forfeiture account on the amount of $3,170.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Myself, yes. Mays.
Yes.
John. Dora.
Yes.
Loper.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, board.
Next item on the agenda is Fire Station 2 requesting to hire Mr. Rogers.
Good afternoon, Board. Mr. Rogers was taken off the department probably about 3 months ago when he moved to Lansing. He has 7.5 years on Station 2, and he moved back to Mayfair. And recently, I married him January 1st, the first day of the year. But he'd like to come back onto the Township Fire Station if you guys would put him back on.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Mays.
Yes.
Jonah.
Yes.
Dora.
Yes.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carries 7-0.
Welcome back.
Okay, you might want to be on board.
Oh, I married him and his girlfriend. Just clarified that.
I thought it was something you weren't telling us.
Yeah. And I married him at the fire station in front of the truck, him and his girlfriend both.
Trying to clear it up now.
We all was like, okay.
Good catch.
It's already out there.
Yeah, good catch.
Yeah, right.
Next item on the agenda is the Treasury Department is requesting for computers in the amount of $1,200.
I was having some issues with my computer. I still have an issue with my monitor as far as there's something not quite right with it. But it's my understanding we have this in the budget for new equipment. Director, Finance Director Holmes.
There's a $2,000 equipment line item that has not had any expenditures against it thus far.
Okay, and that's for my department?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Sonia said that there's a possibility there's a monitor. I don't know. We haven't had a chance to, this happened within a week or so. Okay. But I need approval to spend some money if I need to.
Support.
What's your pleasure?
So moved. So moved.
Support.
Figure it out.
Have a motion by Loper, supported by King, to authorize the treasurer to purchase a computer for up to $1,200.
Just have a question.
Yes,
Just curious, I mean, how old is your system? I'm curious how old the computer systems are in the
About 5
township.
years old.
5
I
years old.
think they're
Okay.
6
Time
years
for a
old,
new
so
one.
it's on your side.
Yeah,
They're all
okay.
pretty old.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Jonah,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mays.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is treasurer requesting to promote Dorothy Jean Johnson to level 3 according to the GELC contract signed March 30th of 23.
I need to table this because I have to post this position. It's gonna be a little bit different than just regular cashier. I'm finding out that there are a lot of different duties, that need to be cross-trained on.
So you're asking this to be tabled or removed?
Table.
Okay. I have a motion to table. Do I have support?
May I ask a question? Yeah, it was,
Tabling
I'm
motion.
I'm a little
Motion to
confused
table.
about it.
Well, you gotta wait till it opens back
Okay.
up, so I had a question too.
Okay.
So who,
I support the motion to table it,
that was your motion to table it?
and I support it.
Okay,
All right.
And then when we open it back up, I take it off the table, we can ask the questions.
yes.
Correct.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure.
Roll call.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mays,
Yes.
Jonah.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0 to table.
Treasurer request to assign Sonia Burns to the Treasury Department until December the 31st, 2025.
Yeah, I'd like to keep her in my department just because of the knowledge base that she has with the SNA, and as well as the water and sewer. She's been very helpful in showing Ginger and I about how things are being done and how they can be changed. There's a lot of payments and processes through the tax system that can be better automated, and she's been very helpful with that.
So that's your motion and your support?
Yeah, I'd like her to stay in just for that reason, because
That's your
it's
motion.
my motion to keep her until December 31st of 2025.
Do I have support?
Support.
Discussion.
What would be,
Yeah.
I guess, got a question. What would be the difference if she wasn't I mean, if she was under the supervisor or under the clerk's department, you wouldn't be able to get any assistance from her?
You would.
Well, prior to the previous administration, she worked under the treasurer for years. And it was a matter of, it's my understanding that there were some difficulties with getting people to be able to be cross-trained and working together. And I'm all for that now, as far as making sure people are each other's backup. We have a lot of people in this township that do key work that, they have 25 years in. We need to start thinking about making sure we have trained people to backfill those positions when they're ready to retire. And it's, again, she's very heavily been in that department. She always has been up until Supervisor Sims brought her over under. So a majority of her work is the tax and the water sewer, and she's basically administers the IT for the most part.
So what would be
That's probably
different?
The lightest part of her job.
What would be different, Jonna, with her being under the treasurer's department versus supervisors?
Just
It would be
that
none.
she's actually physically in proximity in my area, and it's just easier.
And then what about her other jobs that she already has, like the IT?
She balances those with, but I think as far as, like right now, especially with tax season.
Of course.
And water, it's a little more involved with what we're doing there. But most of her IT work is administrative.
We loaned her to the treasury department for 90 days, and she used her once, maybe twice. And I'm requesting that it still stay with the treasurer's department. It stays in the supervisor's department. And if she needs assistance, she can request that. And 99.9% of the time, it would be granted.
So, I'm sorry, Michelle.
okay.
So did I understand you correctly, Mr. Green, that the treasurer's department's only used her once or twice in those 90
My
days?
understanding, yes, ma'am. That's why I'm saying if they need her, she can request to use her, and that will be granted. There's no problem with her being used when needed. Okay?
I've had
But
her
I
for
have a
60
problem
days.
with assigning her to the treasury department for a full year.
I have a question. I do know at one point we did make a motion for her to be a part of the treasurer's office during tax season. My question is, you said cross training. What does that look like? So if she's going to be with you, what is the cross training? Do you have specific jobs that you want her to cross train on and cross train people on? I'm just trying to see what that looks like as far as cross training, because I want to know what it's going to look like if she's assigned to you and how that's going to affect other departments.
Tanya basically functions like an office manager for water, sewer, and tax for BSNA. And so anyone else that comes in, whether it be my deputy or even things that I learned from her, she's helped me way more than 2 times. I'm here 5 days a week. She's here 4 days a week. And she helps me every day with different scenarios and different situations and providing clarification and giving me information.
And do you see that changing if she was under Supervisor Green, that you wouldn't be able to have those opportunities to use her when needed?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like, you might, it's just that, prior to you coming in, she didn't serve as office manager. She was more strictly IT. That's because we had the experience of a deputy
I'm not
treasurer.
saying she's serving under her title, but I'm saying the practical applications of what she does every day in her job would function like that. She's in regular communication with the assessor regarding tax, and as well as with the water, sewer, the tap-ins, and all that. So it's something that we need to be prepared for when people are thinking about retirement. And I think a sufficient amount of time. I've only had her for 60 days.
But before that, she was still in charge of, before that 90 days, she was in charge of the taxes on BSNA and also helping out with water and sewer. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
I just got one more question. So when we made the motion for her to serve under our previous treasurer, we made it for tax season because there was a allotted time that she wanted. So when that time is over, I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. That's what I'm trying to, so I can have a clear understanding, because she did work for the previous treasurer and we did make the motion. So when the bulk of the tax season is over, what then?
Well, in March 1st, but then we're gonna have the summer tax season coming too. So, that's gonna look a little different too, with assessments and things.
You should be
We should
fully
look at
staffed
that.
by then, all right?
Pardon?
You should be fully staffed by then with your
I would hope
deputy
so,
and 2
but-
cashiers.
but at that point, she's gonna have the knowledge that she's gonna need to be able to communicate with those folks also.
Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
So what's the advantage of bringing her over to the treasurer's department, or what's the pros and cons of what she's doing now?
Well, basically, that I would have her at my disposal for, doing things and answering questions. I don't know if there's gonna be any sort of a project or anything down the road, but it's really important that I get my department settled, and she's helping to do that. right now.
It would be no different whether she was in the supervisor's office in regards to her accessibility to the treasurer or the clerk, or even the police department, because we use her throughout the entire township.
And if, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Mr. Supervisor, but did I hear you say that you would like her to remain under the supervisor's position,
Yes.
but you would keep her in the treasury department for the remainder of the year?
She'll be on the supervisor's department, and if they're needed for the remainder of the year to assist the treasurer, I will gladly allow her to do that unless there's something drastic coming up, and I don't foresee any real big issues there.
And I know in the past, there's been some issues with the police department and needing it. And so, I mean, I'd be comfortable leaving her in the supervisor's position for overseeing in the different departments or roles that she fulfills. But I would also hope that anytime that the treasurer needed assistance and she was available, that we'd have her available to help. I think a lot of the employees here, they need to be able to serve in different areas. And I think cross-training is a great idea, but I think she's capable of doing that under the supervisor's position also.
Also, we got, I think the cloud-based with BSNA training about to come up anyway for the township. We're taking parts in that. So she's going to have to be mobile everywhere. Just leave her in the supervisor's office. If anybody had questions, and we can chime in. She help us all. We're about to start training.
Well, she still does help you all. She's just in my department.
Any further discussion?
I guess I'm still trying to figure, because when we had made this motion, it was just for the tax season. So I can, is she going to be allowed, if she can, we don't have to necessarily move it. I'm trying to get through to whole December 31st. That's a long time to me. That's a long time to be assigned to an office. So that's why I was asking, after tax season, what would be the need after that? That's what I'm trying to see. What do you see her doing?
It would be the need for, at that point, the water, sewer, and once I have my deputy in, that way she's really hands-on with that person.
Okay.
But the IT that she does is throughout the entire township.
And she's still able to do that.
Okay.
She's been doing that during tax season. She
Okay.
has been helping with beach and doing different things on a couple of occasions. So it's not
You
that
can
she's
do that
ever been
also
prevented.
through the supervisor's office.
We're just having a tug of war here
I
because
understand
I like
that.
her in my department. She's been very, very, very helpful.
Any further discussion on the motion?
One other question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a monetary difference with her moving?
In terms of her pay?
Yeah.
There's no difference. There's no difference in her pay.
Okay, I'm just trying to get information.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Loper.
Can I get a clarification of the motion?
Thank you, Brian.
The motion was for the treasurer to request to sign burn to the treasury department until December 31st of 2025.
Thank you.
Motion by King, motion by Jonah, supported by Dora.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Ms. Loper,
No.
Baxter,
No.
Green.
No.
Myself, no. Mays,
No.
Jonah,
Yes.
Dora.
Oh,
Motion fails 1-6.
Next item on the agenda is treasurer's request to approve resolution 2025-04, no longer accepting postmarks as evidence of timely payments of tax bills.
Mr. Supervisor, if I could just step in, because I am going to have to leave
Yes.
shortly in a couple of minutes, but I did review the MCL that was cited during public comments.
Yes.
The language of that MCL is may serve as notice of receipt, not shall. Legally, there's a distinction that means that it can be used, but it doesn't necessarily have to be used. So I do believe that the board has the ability to decide as a matter of policy not to use postmarks or not, but so it's not a legal issue, it's a policy issue up to the board.
About 80% of our taxpayers that have mortgages, the mortgage company sends it to the township through the mail. And so consequently, the postmark under those aspects is what we've always used in the past. And it could create some difficulty for the residents in regards to not receiving them on a timely basis And,
Sure, I agree that there may be policy reasons not to do it. I'm just, if I have to step out, I didn't want someone to say, well, why didn't he tell us about the legal, the legal aspect is
So it's
you
up
probably
to
can if you
us.
want.
Right.
It's
I thought
up
I
to
heard the
us.
word
It's
may,
not,
so,
we
right.
have to.
Mhm, right.
Okay.
Mhm.
In this particular,
We don't have a motion.
We
We
need
don't
a
have
motion,
motion,
support.
discussion.
discussion. This was suggested by my consultant. He's been a treasurer for years. About 20 years ago, municipalities stepped away from this policy because at about that time, everybody stepped away from receiving checks. This township still receives checks from mortgage companies. But that doesn't have to be the case. We can send a file, we can receive those payments electronically. That has never been set up. And that's something that I'm working on doing now. It's really unrealistic to think if someone puts their tax payment on the 31st for it to be here on time by the 1st. If we get it the 2nd or 3rd, we do make exceptions and we're able to do that, but we are required statutorily by the state to get our tax dollars out. We can't hold that money indefinitely for a week. We have to meet those deadlines to pay our tax authorities that need those funds. And a majority of municipalities have gotten away from this postmark process for that reason, because they are processing transactions via ACH for a bulk of their
Until
tax
that,
payments.
until that's set up, because I heard you say set up, until it's set up,
Mhm.
so that would be a possibility. I'm concerned for those that do put it in the mail because, it's called snail mail for a reason now, because it does move at its own
In
pace.
terms of escrowed accounts,
Mhm.
we've received a majority of those back.
Mhm.
And most of those, our concerned citizen, Miss Ashley, I was in communication with her, watching those files, making sure that the things were processed and posted in a timely manner. So she would have her year-end date.
Any further discussion on the motion?
I think my biggest concern is that I'm out here and a lot of the homeowners and doing the taxes are older residents, because most of the younger folks, and I'm just gonna put it out here, are renters. And so before we do something like that, we need to have everything in place. It need to be communicated, because they still do believe in checks and mail. I know it's snail mail, and and they're not online. They don't trust being online. They don't trust doing all of that stuff. So I think that we should have something truly in place, options, and have it truly communicate. I'm not against it. That's not, because I know you're trying to bring us up to the 21st century. I'm all for that.
We're in 1985.
I understand that, but we also have to look at the demographics of our homeowners as well. And we have to look at how we're communicating our new things. So if it's something we want to do next year and we've thoroughly vetted it and we have options, we've sent out letters, we've had opportunities for people to come in and ask questions, then I would say by all means, let's rock and roll and let's go for it. But we're right here at tax season now. And for us to make a change, what they say, changing horses in the water, what I'm trying to say, whatever. I think we need to look at it and make sure maybe we can try it as summer taxes, but I think we need to look at it and have a true plan in place before we do it.
This is for 2025.
We're in, yeah. I'm not-
It's just to say that I think the communication with our residents is going to be of utmost importance, that if we choose to do this, that they need to know ahead of time that this is what is expected of them.
Them and the mortgage companies and everybody.
Yes, sir.
involved. Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Baxter,
No.
Green.
No.
Myself, no. Mays,
No.
John,
Yes.
Dora,
No.
Loper.
No.
Motion fails 1-6.
Mr. Supervisor, may I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Good night.
Next item on the agenda is the treasurer appointment of Holly Beckett as deputy treasurer. Treasurer requests to approve contract.
Yeah, I requested, table that.
I have a motion to table. Do I have support?
Support.
Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Sub, yes. Mays,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Treasurer, payroll issue.
Payroll issues
You need to
for you. It's for Baxter.
We can't discuss it. I told you that.
Well, I'm just passing out information, just so the board has it.
But the aspect is, you should have had it in their packet. You should have had it in their packet in regards to that.
We have
And
multiple payroll issues that I'm seeing, and I'm reporting this information. I had a situation with my staff where there's been a grievance filed because she didn't
This is
receive
a motion or
overtime.
this is a talking? What are we doing?
I don't know what she's doing.
I am motioning
Under
to discuss
payroll
payroll
issue.
issues.
Okay, do I have a motion? And she's made the motion. Do I have support?
Support.
Okay, so these issues are my current staff. She wasn't paid overtime for hours worked, and
That's a grievance.
that is a grievance, and that is in process, and I think the board should know about it. And that's the
It's a
information that I
grievance, and
have.
until it's resolved, it's a contract thing that we're going through the contract language. Johnny, you can't discuss those things at a board meeting,
Nope.
okay?
I have a lot of unfortunate
I
things
have a
happening right now.
motion. Do I have, and I've got support. Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
I had something to say.
Right.
Yeah, before we can, it was, I did read some of the correspondence, and I understand the confidentiality and things of that nature. We cannot discuss all this, but we need to have a meeting where it just designated to some of these issues, because we are starting off on the wrong foot already this year. All of the different things going back and forth. We got to come to we've got to come to some kind of agreement and where we're at. One of the things that we had talked about is maybe outsourcing payroll, because that way we'd have a neutral party and that would relieve the clerk's office from having so much to do. And we talked about that. So we need to have a conversation so we won't have all these issues, and maybe looking at outsourcing. And, we had monies to do this, that, and the other. Maybe we can look at just outsourcing that particular component. But I do think that we need to have a conversation, because the emails were rapidly coming, and there was a lot of them. So something is going wrong somewhere. And if we can, keep on going as if it's not happening, but we need to have a meeting. And that's just something that we need to talk about. So we're not in this meeting here like this trying to talk about it.
I agree, because prior to this administration coming in, or the treasurer said there was never no issues.
Okay.
So to hire somebody based on one's opinion I think that's a little bit of reach, when we never had this before.
No,
Not
we
an
had
opinion, it's issues that I'm seeing.
We had issues before. We just maybe not like this, but it was suggested at one point, and it's not necessarily based. I'm not basing this on nobody's opinion. I'm basing on the fact that you have said that your office has a lot of work to do. Yeah. That's number one. And so it would you'd have a neutral person doing the actual payroll, outsourcing it and looking into that. It's not based on her opinion. It's about based on doing something that would help the township.
I do hear what you're saying, and I did have somebody, and we're already in discussions with that as you speak.
Okay.
Trying to relieve that treasurer,
Well, we didn't know anything about it, so I'm just asking.
I didn't know nothing about this either. I thought a lot of things was resolved, but apparently they're not.
Oh.
So, here's what it is.
I need some clarification. We got movement and support. Are we getting ready? What are we getting ready to vote on?
There's a motion that she wants to
We're
discuss.
having a meeting on payroll, possibly.
Possible.
aspect that we have agreement that she wants to discuss
We can't
in a
discuss
board
it.
meeting,
I understand that.
and we're in a grievance process with that individual. And that's your issue.
It was a previous.
That's your issue.
grievance, Yes.
Okay,
My-
so
Let's send that motion.
legally, I can't discuss it at a board meeting because we're in that aspect. I have a motion to that effect and I have support that she wants to discuss it.
Okay.
Ms. Loper alluded to it when it comes to there are issues that we need to discuss. And I understand the one in particular is already in the grievance process. But those grievances cost us. And so each and every time we have a grievance, the township people pay for it. Okay, whether it's resolved or not, there's a bill for us. And so I understand and I agree that we need to have some kind of meeting and to come to Jesus, if we may, when it comes to knowing what they're supposed to do when it comes to OT and that kind of thing. But I understand we can't discuss it at this time. So I am in agreement that we do need to have some kind of meeting so that
I
we
understand
can
that.
discuss it.
But this is not the time or place.
I understand that.
So are we going to establish a time and a place? Because we need to be proactive instead of reactive, which is what we're doing all the time. So when will we do that?
Motion and support on the floor. Is there any further discussion?
What was the motion for just payroll? It was just too open.
Payroll
I think.
issues.
That's so broad.
Yes.
That's very broad.
Yeah, that's not a motion, is
That's
it?
not a
Just pay.
motion.
No, that's not a motion, just to say
It's like-
payroll issues.
It's like saying time clock.
That's
Right.
what I
What
was-
about?
that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Shouldn't have been a motion. It
Shouldn't
should
have
have been a
motion.
conversation. And then we could have
Informational
said an informational item.
You rescind your
Exactly.
motion,
Shouldn't have
so
been, we
then-
shouldn't have.
Thank you.
And if we could come up with a date.
Resubmit your support.
I rescind my support.
Need a motion to table it then? Or to remove it from the agenda?
To set an appointment for a meeting so we can discuss it.
Discuss it.
But in
Okay.
regards to the issue that we told the supporters on, I'm asking for a motion to remove it from the agenda.
So move.
Support.
Any discussion? The motion is to remove it from the agenda. Roll call.
Myself, yes. Mays,
Yes.
Jonah,
Yeah.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
I will check my calendar and I will set up a time where we can get together one evening to sit down and have a board work session.
Okay.
And even though it's a board, they are open to the public. The
Okay.
public can attend, but there will be no comments from the public in regards to the board workshop. Okay?
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is the financial director's report.
Evening again. My report actually was intended to be an agenda item for you all tonight, and it did not make the agenda. So after review on tomorrow morning, you all will receive the second amendment to the current year budget there that will essentially add $200,000 of additional revenue and make a $600,000 adjustment in expenses across all of the funds. It'll be detailed for you, and you should anticipate receiving that tomorrow afternoon. And we're hopeful to have that on the agenda at our next meeting for your adoption. There also wanted to report that we have made great progress on preparing the 25-26 budget. Supervisor Green and I will have the final looks at that as tomorrow, and hopefully you can have that as well tomorrow afternoon in your boxes as well. Thank you very much.
Clerk's office report.
Just FYI that we have our MTA annual conference, March 31st to April 3rd of this year in Grand Rapids. Registration,
31st to what, I'm sorry?
March 31st to April 3rd.
Thank you.
So
In Grand
if you haven't received this pamphlet, it's in your mailboxes.
Thank you.
But if you are planning to attend, just get with me about that.
But if you plan on getting a room, you have to call the 23rd. And that will be opening up at 9 a.m.
Okay,
Okay, you can do registration for the conference, but to get a room, you have to call on,
by the 20,
you have to call on the 23rd, starting at 9 a.m. They'll take reservations.
not until then though. Okay,
So they'll take reservation to be
Registration.
at the conference.
but not for the room.
Not for the room.
Gotcha.
It'll generate a code for you.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
And they do, can I just ask, they do offer this online again, am I correct? It's always been offered online too. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is public comments, where you can address the board on any issue. 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to make public comments? Public comments? Yes, ma'am?
Good evening, board members. My name is Marilyn Miller. I live at 6494 Westlake Road, Clio, Michigan. I'd like to pass this out for you, just in case.
Thank you.
Okay, as I said, good evening, esteemed members of board and trustees. I'm responding to the allegation verbally, and I provided emails as well, made against me on November the 20th, 2024, as detailed in the letter dated December 19, 2024. I take this allegation very seriously and wish to provide a comprehensive response to ensure a clear understanding of the situation from my perspective. In my response, I have outlined each point, and you have that in your possessions. Walked off my job, support to Ms. King, dismissal of my employment. I'm committed to serving people with professionalism and integrity. My belief is to treat the people the way that I want to be treated, with the highest respect, regardless of their situations and or circumstances. Therefore, to say that I walked out is untrue after giving my highest services to Mount Morris Township for 14 years and 7 months, according to Jesus Christ standards. Thank you for hearing me, and I appreciate you reading what I've written to you. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Public comment.
Jeff Master, 3396 Field Road. First, I remember when Gail passed, we asked Marilyn to step up and do her job, and Marilyn wasn't here when we defended her the last time that somebody had said something about her. You guys can do what you want. But I think now is a good time to thank her for doing the good job that she did during the whole time before this one came on. And the other thing I want to say is, wow, what a change in a board for most of you. Your comment was just funny about the motion, but you two, your comments, your questions, and you're putting a stop to the nonsense and the foolishness that can only come from one direction. So I think, wow, good job on the board. But I think Marilyn deserves an appreciation just for the job she did.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? I'll close public comment. There's no attorney report. Fire report. Chief Wilson?
Only a couple of things for Station 2. I mentioned grant that we put in for. We did pass the first section of the grant for the JAWS. but we didn't pass the second one. So we're going to be putting it in again this year, and hopefully we'll get it. Our annual bowling tournament is going to be, we set a date for March 15th at Colonial Lanes. I would like to see most of you there if you can. It's always been a good turnout. We fill the bowling alley. We make good money for the cost recovery, not cost recovery, but fire prevention. The light trailer that we did receive from the DNR, some of the guys come to my shop, we've painted it, I've put stripes on it, lights. I got everything I need now for the brackets for the lighting, and it should be in service probably within a week. I should have it up here the next board meeting to have it out in the front running with the lights, parking lot all lit up to show you guys what we did. Okay? Thanks.
Chief, is it Beast Bowling that you guys use?
No, Colonial Lanes.
Colonial, okay.
Out here on Pearson Road.
Thank you.
March 15th.
The 15th, Saturday.
This coming Saturday?
No,
Oh,
March
That's what I
15th.
thought. Okay.
I'm just kind of, so you can put it in your books.
Okay.
All right.
Any other comments? Any other citizens' comments? Whoa, fire chief, station 1 or 3.
No, everything's going good. We had our holiday dinner Saturday, so it was a good time.
Good. Please, chief.
I just would like to point out that with the hiring of these two gentlemen and the 3 recruits we have in the police academy, we will be full staffed.
All right, it's about time.
I'd also like to, I gave each and every one of you a copy of our 2024 year-end stats. I'd just like to go over those for the public so they can hear what the officers did throughout the year. Our officers responded to 18,590 911 calls, policed 562 traffic accidents, conducted 1,664 traffic stops, issued 1,135 citations, made 493 misdemeanor arrests, 336 felony arrests, responded to 399 alarms, conducted 2,892 business checks. Our detective bureau obtained 499 felony arrests or felony warrants. They also obtained 885 misdemeanor warrants. And our detective bureau investigated 495 new complaints throughout the year. So, yes. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is board comments. Ms. King.
Thank you, Supervisor. I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I hope it's a good one and that we continue to be able to work together. And again, we are not going to always agree, but that's okay. That's part of the democratic process. And again, Happy New Year and thanks for coming.
I ditto Ms. King's comments about not always agreeing, but working for the greater cause. Also, I wanted to put this in the boards that we are looking at new contracts for this year. We just started looking at our CFO's contract. It will be in March. And as usual, we always have to go back and forth. So let's make sure that we do it in a timely manner. We should be looking at that soon, real soon, at least knowing where we're going with that. So I just wanted to put that on the radar. Also, thank you for that comment. And it does seem like a more calmer meeting. But we also need you all to know we look at you all too, and we hope that this same attitude reflects in the audience. We need that same support too. It's very difficult to sit up here and you're yelling or you're saying stuff. It works 2 ways. So if we can do that, we'd like to see a better response sometimes from the audience to let us know, hey, we appreciate that we are trying to work together. It matters to us too.
Well, Happy New Year's to everyone. Also, welcome back, Mr. Rogers. Thank you. And welcome, Mr. Thompson and Mr. Bradley. Welcome to the township. That's all I have. Everybody be safe tonight going home.
Me, Jenna. I just want to welcome the new staff. Welcome back to the fire department. Welcome to the police department. Glad to have you. Very busy right now, tax season. Working really hard. I have a really great support with my consultant and with Jean working. She's working a lot of overtime. We're getting a lot of mail, but we're getting it done. So it is still tax season. I do get some support, but I'm still down one cashier, but hopefully the other one will be ready next week, and let's continue to keep working.
Mr. May.
Happy New Year's to everyone. Just like everyone else stated, hopefully this year will be better than last year. It's a new year. It's cold outside. So I would like for you all to go home, get comfortable, and get warm. And even though I'm a Raiders fan, go Lions.
Good job. Good job.
I would also like to welcome Mr. Bradley, Mr. Rogers, and Mr. Thompson, willing to come and serve our community and put your lives on the line for the citizens of our community and citizens passing through. I highly regard that. And thank you very much for that. Also, Marilyn, when she did step up when our previous treasurer passed away, she did keep this township going. There was a heavy workload on her. There was even discussions to even try to increase her pay during that time, and she did not receive it. And then I always kind of wondered what happened on the last couple of days. I did read through some of the emails. Some things are disconcerting to me. But I mean, I don't really have words for it. I take everybody's word at what they say, and then I have to decide, through it. And I'm not saying that anybody's a liar. That's the way I always done everything in life. You could tell me whatever, somebody else will tell me, and then I'll try to figure it out. Because just like me, when I try to tell somebody a story or when I get pulled over or something, I tell the officer what I want them to hear. And it's just, and everybody does that. It's human nature. Also, hopefully it's a nice new year. It's going to get cold. I see there's another cold snap coming. That's a bummer. I'm actually going to Florida next weekend, and it's actually going to be cold down. It's going to only be 50 down there. So it's I wish I was going another month later. And also some good news. I was reading on MLive, and thank you for the Mott Foundation for giving $10 million to Beecher to open up the high school in 2026. So, I mean, we're very fortunate in this community to have the Mott Foundation and give the money that they do. So that's it. That's all.
I want to thank Marilyn personally for her years of service to the township and the dedication that she gave. And I thank her immensely. I know she stepped up and did an outstanding job. We are working very hard to finalize the budget, so you board members will have it in time that we can review it, study it. And I will work very hard to establish a time where we can have a board workshop in the very near future. And to everyone else, stay safe. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call.
Mays,
Yes.
Zona,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Loper,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
myself, yes. Motion carried.
You go back to your office or I'm gonna get station two. Yeah, I got a copy.